Hey there, I'm professional psychic Karen Marie, and this is Psyched Up for Sunday, March 13th, 2022. So, I happen to be in Little Rock, Arkansas right now, visiting my cousin Patty, and I'm going to be going mining for crystals for the next 2 days in Hot Springs Village, Arkansas, which is nearby. So, I can get up and drive there, come back for a hot tub soak. So it is one of my absolute favorite things in the world to do, to mine for crystals. So I'm super excited to do that and be here. I drove up 2 days ago. It snowed last night when I was here. So it's been an amazing visit so far. All right, as usual, I'm going to talk about the transits for this week, and there's some important ones. And then I'll do mini readings for all 12 signs. I'll put the timestamps below this video so you can look up your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising. I recommend looking at all three, unless your sun, moon, and rising are all the same. You can, of course, also look up your friends and loved ones and what's going on in their world. So I'll just do mini readings for each sign for what's on tap for the week. All right, so I'm going to start right now. The sun is at 22 degrees of Pisces. It is conjunct Neptune that's at 22 degrees of Pisces. So the sun illuminates. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, and every sign and every planet has a positive end and a negative end, just like us human beings, right? We all have like what we do best and what we do that's not so hot. So Neptune is the psychic radar planet. It is wherever it is in the chart can really denote psychic abilities or the lack thereof, enhance connection with our spiritual self, the divine. These are positive aspects of Neptune, the ability to channel, to get spiritual ahas and realizations, and be tuned in at a higher vibration, higher level. On the downside of Neptune is illusion, delusion, addiction, conspiracy thinking, fuzzy thinking, right? Pisces is the slippery fish that are swimming different directions, right? And so these are the same qualities. Pisces can be very spiritual, very psychic, very tuned into the world around them. They can also be stuck in their sensitivity and just really go down the pike. So the sun, which illuminates things, brings things brighter, brings out the best and the worst of this transit. So you can have super psychic, spiritual aha moments, vivid dreams, psychic hits that are off the chain, or you could be so stuck in illusion, delusion, addiction that is magnified, right? So wherever you are, this is what's going on right now. It can really be intensive. Neptune has been in Pisces for a while. The 22-degree point, however, is a breakdown, breakthrough number as well. Two is about feelings. So double feelings. I feel it extra is another thing. So we can feel emotionally extra sensitive. We can feel extra psychically sensitive just with the placement of Neptune alone or the sun alone. But put these two together, it is super intensive. I'm experiencing it super intensive in a wonderful way that I hope you are too, right? In Pisces, besides the sun and Jupiter, besides the sun and Neptune, we also have Jupiter, which is at 16 degrees of Pisces. And then Mercury has entered into Pisces. Mercury's going to be clipping on along. Right now, as I'm recording this, it's at 4 degrees, right? So it's in the first decan. It's going to move all the way to 16 degrees and be conjunct Jupiter by next Sunday, the 20th. So Mercury is the planet that represents our communication and our thinking. And in Pisces, this water can really make people not it be fuzzy and not quite know. Like it's almost like when you get underwater and your hearing is submerged and you can't hear people that are talking outside, like you go underwater in the pool or in the tub and can't hear what someone's saying. That can often happen when Mercury is in Pisces. It's like it gets submerged and it's like, what? it, it makes thinking can be really fuzzy and, right. So again, normal thinking, normal communication, but psychic communication can be heightened with Mercury in Pisces. In the first decan, it's really about what we think and feel about ourselves and what is our psychic and spiritual connection. What do we think about it? In the second decan, where Jupiter's sitting, it's about being tapped into the people around us, right? The third decan, which is where Neptune and the sun are sitting, this is about feeling out the future. So, one of the psychic things that could come in today over this next week is psychic hits, premonitions about your future. That's for everybody, but especially for those of us that are tuned in extra. And I think everyone has psychic abilities. We all have the ability to utilize our intuition, and it shows up differently for everyone. For some of us, it's naturally on and loud. We have deja vu, we channel, we can feel other people's feelings. Some people can read each other people's minds. I'm grateful I don't have that one. Just saying. Um, but everybody has intuition that shows up in some ways, right? Some people's volume is turned down or it's off and they're not in touch with it at all. And I have seen through 34 years of doing readings for other people professionally that people who have a very strong mind are super smart, logical, rational. They can often be the ones that have the most difficulty tapping into their intuition because the brain, the mind runs the show and can override the intuition or the feeling state. It's not true for everyone. In fact, one of my best friends is super bright, brilliant Virgo mind, but also super intuitive and psychic. So it doesn't have to be the case, but I've seen it very, very often that people are the most disbelieving about psychic abilities, are the most have the most difficulty tuning into the intuitions, are ones who have the strong mind. So it's important to practice putting the mind aside to listen, right? And again, psychic abilities can show up in different ways. It is one of the things I work with private clients. Like in my private work, I don't want to make my clients dependent upon me for all their insights. I really want to mirror the intuition that lies in each person. So when you get a reading with me, you're going to find that your own intuition gets validated and supported. It gets louder. You can get confirmed what it is you're already thinking and feeling, which is super important. So, one of the transits that's going to be coming up, it'll be coming up April 12th, is Jupiter, the planet that expands things and brings good luck, conjunct Neptune. This is a once in our lifetime transit. Back in the day, Jupiter used to be the ruler of Pisces, back when the only planets that were used in astrology were ones that you could see with the naked eye. Once the outer planets were discovered with telescopes, Neptune became the ruler of Pisces. So they are considered co rulers. In some Vedic astrology, Jupiter is still the ruler of Pisces. So these two coming together in Pisces, it's never happened before in our lifetime and will never happen again. So it's Jupiter who's expanding things, Neptune, the psychic radar, coming together. Like right now, we're having a little mini dose of that with the sun conjunct Neptune, but in April, on the 12th, this will be super potent. But that powerful transit, we're already beginning to feel ahead of time, right? We're a month out from that. These energies are already coming in. And with the sun conjuncting Neptune, it's like a preview of coming attractions. This is a great awakening for many, many people are waking up psychically and spiritually. People who've never been interested in psychic things before are developing their intuition will be opening up and developing that. People who have not been interested in connecting with a spiritual divine self, not meditating, none of that, are going to begin to do so. Like I really see this period that we're in now is this great awakening period spiritually. So Mercury, Jupiter, the Sun, and Neptune. This is a 4-planet stellium in Pisces. So Pisces is the theme for the week, Pisces energy, right? Now, we will have a full moon. It'll be exact on Friday the 18th at 2:17 a.m. Austin, Texas time. It will happen at 27 degrees of Virgo. So the moon is on one side of the astrological wheel, and the sun is on the exact opposite in a full moon. So the sun will be at 27 degrees of Pisces when this happens. So we start feeling full moons ahead of time as well. Like it might be exact. It'll feel like Thursday night, right? 2 something a.m. Friday morning, or unless you're up late Thursday night into the wee early morning hours and are experiencing this, we feel full moons ahead of time. We feel them after the fact as well. This full moon is particularly potent because it's going to be right before the spring equinox, which happens, of course, on Sunday, the 20th. And that's when the sun will move into Aries. So we'll begin. So this full moon is like the kickoff, not only for this next lunation cycle, but I've got it. My computer giving me a notice. I don't want it to do an update right here in the middle of my video. It's the start of the whole astrological new year because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So we're in Pisces, we're in the last sign of the zodiac. So it's kind of like the astrological new year. So this full moon is like heralding this whole next year. So it's super powerful, super potent. So let me just, since I'm already talking about that, let me just continue talking about this full moon. So the full moon in Virgo. So Virgo is about health and healing and attention to health and putting things in order and being disciplined. It's our daily life. It's working hard. It's service for others. These are all Virgo themes. Structure, organizing, being a healer, healing others. So these themes are going to be major with this full moon, right? And then Pisces, I've already been talking about the Pisces energy. So the sun's going to be bringing in all this Piscean energy in the full moon. And full moons, no matter what sign they're in, are culmination. They're often endings, right? There's a reason though for the word lunatic, right? Luna, it expands things. We're all water based, right? The moon is what makes the tides in the oceans move. So it moves us as well because we're mostly made of water. So when moons are full, people's emotions are extra heightened. They're also heightened as the moon moves through Cancer, which is on the very tail end of right now, because the moon is the ruler of Cancer, right? So this week, we'll start off with the moon in Cancer. The moon will move through Leo starting on Monday. It'll be usually when the moon's moving through Leo, it's like party, like it's a social passion. Love is on the horizon often when the moon's moving through Leo. And then the moon will move into Virgo starting on Wednesday and then culminate in this full moon early Friday morning. So right before it moves into Libra, which is all about relationships. So that's the scope of the moon this week. But full moons are about completions, things coming to an end often. Often relationships will end around a full moon, or the end of pregnancies can happen and a baby can be born often on the full moons. A lot of babies are born on full moons because the pregnancy comes to an end. Relationships can come to an end. Jobs, any kind of commitment, you can be done with something. You can be done with a cycle. Since it's the very last degrees of the whole zodiac, whatever you've been working on in your life for the last year may reach a culmination or an endpoint. Like what's been going on personally for you, especially in the Aries of health, areas of health, right? And what you're doing with your connections with others in terms of service. Where in your life are you volunteering to help someone? You could be a parent and you may not be volunteering to do it, but you're doing it, right? So these areas of your life could come to a head. Personal healing issues, you may really decide that's it. I'm done with eating sugar. I'm done with drinking alcohol. I'm done with doing these party drugs. Like these are all things that could come to a conclusion, an ending around this full moon. plus with all this Pisces energy, you may just get the clear hits, insights, guidance about what it is you need to shift or change, right? It's probably already been giving, if you're supposed to make a major change like that in a relationship and a particular habit or the way you've been treating your body, you're already getting the messages, is what I get it. Like you've been feeling, I know, I need to quit eating sugar, or I know I need to stop drinking so much, or I need to quit, whatever it is. You're already getting the messages. This would be a great time to set the intention. And then you can start off the spring, the new astrological, it's like New Year's Day, right? It's more powerful, I think. But I'm also an Aries, so I'm gonna think that. All right, let me go back to my notes here. Okay, so Uranus has moved to 12 degrees of Taurus. So Uranus is the great awakener. It's the ruler of Aquarius. So you think of any Aquarians, and how do Aquarians do things outside the box? Aquarius energy loves the unique and the different. It's an air sign with the two wavy lines. It's how we all vibe together, right? It's about all of us really coming together. In astrology, it's the 11th house, which is about networks and connections and groups and others. So Uranus loves to change things up, loves, the unique, the different, the sudden, unexpected. Taurus is not so much. Taurus is an earth sign. It likes to know what the plan is. It doesn't like to deviate from the plan. It likes it stable or it knows it. So Uranus is not really comfortable in Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus. So there's a symbiotic relationship between whatever Venus is doing and then whatever Taurus is doing. So right now, Venus is in Aquarius. Venus has been traveling along with Mars in Aquarius. As I record this, Venus is at 6 degrees of Aquarius. Mars is right behind at 5. They've been traveling together in an unprecedented transit. Unprecedented because usually Venus whips right over Mars. But right now, in December, she went retrograde. She turned around at the end of January to go first, and she is tired because she had already gone over and back over Pluto, which is death and transformation. And then the two of them, Mars and then Venus right behind, went over Pluto again. So Venus has been over Pluto 3 times recently. So Venus is been put through the ringer. And what does Venus represent? Our love, who we love, what we love. It's our relationships, it's our money, it's our finances, is how we receive energy. So we've all been affected by this powerful transit. And Mars is the god of war. It's also power and control and how we put energy into things, right? And it's gone over Pluto recently too. No coincidence that the god of war is going over Pluto, death and transformation, while there's a literal war going on in the planet. But now they're in Aquarius. This is the male and the female principles of the universe to do coming together. And for each of us, it's about really balancing out our inner divine feminine and our inner divine masculine. The feminine is how we receive energy, right? The masculine's how we put out energy. So we're all working on balancing that, especially in this first decan of Aquarius. When these two move into the second decan, it's going to be really feeling out these vibes with other people. And Venus at the end of this week, I have it in my notes that will be on Saturday, the 19th, will be in a square, which is a contentious relationship with Uranus. So Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, is in Taurus, and Venus, the ruler of Taurus, is in Aquarius. So they're in these opposite signs with each other. So whatever connection aspect they make with each other is extra potent. Squares are like a traffic jam when two cars come to a stop sign at the same time, and they don't know which one's going to go first. Uranus, since it's an outer planet, it's more powerful, usually has the upper hand when it comes together with a personal planet. Venus is a personal planet. So this square, and again, we can feel these aspects ahead of time. We can feel them after the fact. So you may already be feeling this aspect of Venus squaring Uranus. This is sudden, unexpected things in relationships. It can be positive, unexpected things. It could be someone new coming in that's super fabulous. It could also be the sudden ending of relationships or sudden news that you receive about a relationship. It's going to be unexpected. And so you're going to be experiencing, most everybody's going to be experiencing something unexpected in the realm of their relationships. And this Venus is all relationships. It's not just the primary love relationship. What she's known for is that, but it's also our relationships with our friends, our relatives, our workmates, anybody in the world around us. So there, and this is happening right on the heels of the full moon, right? So we have the full moon about releasing, letting go. Then Uranus is squaring Venus, and then we move into Sun moves into Aries, and the equinox is there. So this is super, super powerful. Um, this week is super powerful, and we're probably already feeling it. If you're at least bit sensitive, you can feel like something's really shifting. So Uranus is at 12 degrees. So Taurus, ruled by Venus, is about our values and valuing ourselves. And the 12 is, one is about I love, and two is about I feel. What do you feel that you love? Like, are you valuing yourself? Are the people in your life valuing you? This is one of the questions, or some of the questions that you can be asking with this Uranus at 12. And if they're not, if you're not valuing yourself, or people in your life are not valuing you, Uranus at 12 degrees of Taurus is going to be, tossing things up in the air again, throwing curveballs, doing something surprising to wake you up. We all deserve to be loved. We all deserve to be valued, right? And so if we have people in our lives that are not valuing us, it may be time to end those relationships. That's the ones in particular that I'm seeing could be ending. Now, Pluto has just moved to 28 degrees of Capricorn these last few days. We've never experienced Pluto at 28 degrees in our lifetime. So anytime these slow moving outer planets move to a new degree, it's a whole sort of paradigm, new things opening up that we haven't seen before. Again, Pluto is death and transformation. In Capricorn, it's about power and control. Who has the power over, and so what I've been seeing and talking about, if you've been watching my videos, is Pluto is tearing down this old school paradigm that the people with the power are the white men with the money, right? That's the old paradigm that we've all grown up in. It was the paradigm that this country was formed in. We had our Pluto return. First brush of it was in February, with Pluto coming back to the exact same spot in the sky where it was when the United States was formed. We'll have two more exact conjunctions this year. It won't move beyond 2 degrees of this all year long. So it's at 28 degrees now. It'll just creep up slowly in 28. It'll stay at 28. The minutes keep going up a little. And then April, the last part of April, Pluto will go retrograde. Right now, all the planets are direct. So anytime a outer planet starts to turn around and move another direction, it increases in its potency. So we're feeling Pluto tearing down these old, archaic, patriarchal power and control paradigms in our world all over the place, right? So Pluto will dip into Aquarius in March of 2023. Aquarius is a completely different vibe than Capricorn, which where Pluto is now. So it will go into Aquarius, then it'll back into Capricorn, then it'll go back into Aquarius again. It's like doing this stutter step, right? And then Pluto finally moves into Aquarius to stay in November of 2024. So these next couple of years with Pluto in these very last degree points of Capricorn, it's making several passes in this part of the sky, tearing down these old paradigms. I see them as towers of Babel, like anything where the person has come into power to have power over other people is a power paradigm that will no longer work in the age of Aquarius that we're moving into, where everybody matters, right? Not just people with money, not just people with white skin, everyone matters, right? And so that's the paradigm that we're moving into, which I'm so looking forward to. But in the meantime, the ones that have the power and control are feeling it on some level, and they're raising their game and like holding on to the last dredges of power. That's what I see going on with Putin right now, is he's trying to hold on to his power, right? He's going to go belly up. Mark, this is my prediction. There's no way that Putin is still going to be in power in Russia by the time Pluto goes into Aquarius to stay. And maybe not even by the time it dips up there the first time in March of next year. I don't know, but I know that by the end of 2024, Putin is not going to be ruling Russia. He's too much the paradigm, the example of this old school paradigm, right? That is not going to be able to be standing on the planet. So anywhere in your life where there's that paradigm showing up, it could be with a parent, it could be in a school or institution or with your work, anytime where this old paradigm is existing, these are going to be crumbling. So they may be taking other people out as they fall. It can be very disconcerting. Transformations, transitions can be very gnarly to move through. But on the other side of it, I really see a more beautiful energy with Pluto moving into Aquarius. All right. So, what else was in my notes here? This zip of Mercury going through from 4 to 16 this week, that's a quick zip. And we may all be going, what just happened? I don't know. We like, if you can't get if you can't articulate your thoughts, like I just had that moment just now, where you can't find the words for things, you have trouble focusing or concentrating, you can really know it's because Mercury is zipping through Pluto. It's like, I don't want to drown. I got to get out of here fast. Let's see, what else do I have in my notes? Mercury will be conjunct Jupiter by the 20th. So it's going to be expanding these qualities of Mercury in Pisces. So the delusional thinking, the whatever. But if you're psychically tuned in, this is just a great time period for the development of psychic abilities, or for the ones that you already have to expand and get even bigger, dreams to be extra vivid, your intuition just to be on. That's for everybody. So even people who are out of touch with it may totally be getting in touch with it this month, next month, when we have the Jupiter Neptune conjunction. Super powerful. I'm really excited about these changes, truthfully. So the full moon, let me go over my notes here. Full moon is a grand letting go. Grand because we're releasing karmic patterns with this full moon, is what I feel. Pluto is transforming things. So with it in the mix, it's about changing karma. And so also, since Pluto's at this 28-degree point and transforming things, and Capricorn is like the way we've done things, all the structures on our life and how we form things, there's been a lot of people changing their jobs, right? We went through the pandemic, so a lot of people even have a change in the jobs they have. Like, instead of going to work, they're working from home. More and more people are just going, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. I just, no. And especially if you're dealing with a situation where you're dealing with someone with power and control issues at your work, you're like, yeah, no, I don't want to do this. So I'm really seeing a lot of people changing their work, have been, will continue to, especially again over these next 2 years with Pluto dipping out of Capricorn and into Aquarius. And I really feel like the conscious people, the people who are awake, and if you're watching this video, you can count yourself among those people who are tuned in to more than the 3D, right? More than just what's going on here with unconscious people who aren't steeped in fear. who are actually awake, tapping into their higher self, tapping into their intuition. This is a jetapult time. It's a great awakening. It's like when you play the game of leapfrog and you hop over an obstacle at the person, you like propel yourself even further than if you were just hopping along. Like these things that are coming up astrologically can just catapult us into a whole new place. A lot of people are really leaving old karmic patterns behind. Bye bye. No more of that for me. Again, with Venus crossing over Pluto, a lot of relationships have already transformed, even more going to be transforming. Mars crossed over Pluto. So there's a transformation of where we're putting our energies, where we're putting our energy. Did I say that twice? I think so. This is the Mercury in Pisces phenomenon. What did I say? It's kind of like Mercury retrograde right now. So people are going, no, Mercury was already retrograde. Mercury's direct, but it's moving through Pisces. So it's going to feel very much like Mercury retrograde. Just saying, giving you the heads up about that. All right. Do I have anything else I feel like I need to talk about for this week? Great week to set an intention for the full moon of what you want to let go of, what you want to release, and what kind of new beginnings do you want in your life in conjunction with the spring equinox and the movement of the sun into Aries, right? One thing I will say about Aries, I notice that every time the moon moves through Aries, any planets moving through Aries, there's positives and negatives about every sign, right? So the positives of Aries are passion and warmth and thriving and exuberance and excitement for life. It's the baby of the zodiac. On the downside, it can be impulsivity, impatience, frustration, primal emotions. So again, heads up. The people that are unconscious and asleep right now are really being jacked with emotionally. Out on the roads, it is dicey with these people behind the wheel. Just saying. So when you're doing your daily meditation, which you do, right? Put out that prayer for the people that are struggling and need to just wake up, because we're all affecting each other, right? We all are feeling what's going on over in the Ukraine, right? I've been asking in all my dailies um, for people to pray for the people of Ukraine. And I've talked about this before, but I really see any negative thing as a Buddhist. I've been practicing Buddhism for 38 years. So I was trained decades ago that when I'm faced with an obstacle, personal obstacle, or there's one out in the world that I see, to pray to turn poison to medicine or turn an obstacle into a benefit, so that not only does the situation shift out of something that feels gnarly into something that feels better or positive, but that our life is better off as a result of having to have faced the obstacle, having to gone through the negative situation. We learn something, we develop strength, something in our life improves. So that has been my prayer for the situation in the Ukraine, that poison be turned to medicine, that an obstacle be turned to a benefit, that the people of Ukraine have great things coming into their life as a result of this great horror that they're having to face. And I'll just talk a little bit about my own, like probably the most difficult situation I've ever gone through was the suicide of my father when I was 15. He was 41, put a gun to his head. I was he was in the house. I was upstairs asleep, out of nowhere. Um, no prior attempts. It was just mind blowing for me and him, him literally, me figuratively. But at 15, I began asking, why am I here? What are we supposed to be doing on this planet? What is life about? Like, I started asking the deep ended questions as a result of his death. It woke me up out of my sleep, right? Because before that, I was worried about wanting to get Jordache jeans and Candy's shoes, which was the thing at the time when I was in high school, right? After his death, it was like, why am I here? What's life about? What's the, like, everything shifted and I was waken awaken. So that's one of the benefits that negative situations can have for anybody is they can wake up someone who's asleep, right? It can put you on a new path, a new trajectory. It could be a positive one. So now when I look back at that, yes, it's sad. Yes, it's tragic, but I'm grateful because I wouldn't be the woman I am today had I not moved through that and decades of therapy that followed, just say, and healing modalities of all kind, and really my psychic ability being developed as a result of all the work I did to wake up and to get conscious, to dive into spiritual practices, to really plug into something beyond this 3D plane where it's a delusional world out there. If you're caring about what everybody else around you is doing and amassing the most things or the most money or whatever, it's like none of that gets to go with you when we cross over, right? So I think that's all I have to say right now about that. I will move on now, take a sip of my tea and move on to do readings for all 12 signs. Let's see what the week's going to be about for all of you guys. We'll start with the Aries, the Rams, the leaders, the babies. A sign that can be both a baby and a leader at the same time, or on alternate days or hours. All right, what do the Aries need to know for this week? We have the postponement card. So this card is about being on hold. It's like feeling like you have to wait for something. It's not the right time yet for something. This also is the card that shows up representing depression, right? This because the person's all gray. There's beautiful color here, but they're not looking at it, right? So this can, and I see this card showing up the most for creative people who are not channeling their creativity, right? They have the gifts to write or to do music or to dance or to do drama or to whatever it is that's creative, and they're not cooking, whatever, they're not doing their creative flow. They've got it backed up. I know I should do that. They're not taking action towards it. Aries need to move their bodies physically, one thing. They need to keep that powerful fire moving through their system. And when you don't, that energy backs up and turns into depression. I've seen it over and over and over again. So this may very well be just a call to creativity for Aries. Like, what are you feeling called to do that you have not taken action towards? That would be something that you would love to do if you were actually doing it. You know, for me, it's doing more music, right? I play 3 instruments, I sing, I write. I've been really feeling like I need to put more energy into that daily, right? I need to pick up my instruments every day. I need to write some new songs. That energy's backed up because I haven't been tending that every day, right? So hopefully diving into the crystals over the next 2 days and digging them up out of the ground will help this Aries get moving. But you know, you may just have to be waiting for something. The postponement could be literal. You just have something to postpone, and it's not quite time yet. When I start feeling impatient or impulsive, as Aries will, about something not happening yet, turn it over, trust, and affirm that divine right timing. Like things will happen at the right time. Just affirm that. If you're like, oh, want something to happen now? Okay, it's happening in the divine right time. Like just affirming that divine right timing, put it in whatever words work for you, but just putting that out there so that you're not tripping on, I want it now. Like, no, I'm going to trust that I'll get it when it's the right time for me. I'll trust that I'll get in motion when it's the right timing, right? That everything is perfect, right? And just affirming that makes that so. Because you can go into a rap. I never get to da da da. Da. I always da 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 da. Da. Like that's one of the. If you hear yourself say always or never, stop yourself right there. Also, should don't shit on yourself either, right? Should, need to, have to. No, try to translate it to I really want to instead of I should da 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 fill in the blank. I want to fill in the blank, right? It's a lot more motivating to say I really would love to change the way I eat and feel better and feel healthier. I would really love to do music every day, right? Instead of I really need to or I should. That doesn't work, especially for Aries. We're rebels, right? Don't tell us what to do. So even if it's internal, you can get to an internal power struggle within with the inner, you know, parent going, you should do this. You need to do this. And the inner rebel going, F that. So try to coax yourself in with love. Wouldn't you love to do more music? Wouldn't you love to go dancing? Wouldn't you love to sit down and write that book you've been stalling and procrastinating about? So, this postponement could be procrastination. It also could be the timing's just not quite right. Your intuition, your own higher self will know which of those it is for you. But any rate, I don't feel this being too heavy this week. I feel like this is something you can shift if you just put your attention on it and realize you're doing it, right? You're sitting there playing endless games of internet backgammon, for example, realize, okay, wait, what can I do that's productive, even if it's baby steps, even if it's one little thing at a time? Get some chi flowing in your life, get moving. If you're an Aries that's sitting there on the couch, you're going to feel awful, you're going to be depressed. Aries need to move their bodies. So get out. And even if you just walk around your house and back in the door again, that's going to be better than just sitting on the couch the whole time, right? Get moving. If you can get more movement going, go for an hour-long walk, go for a swim, go dancing, something that would be fun to do. Get out there and garden, get some movement going is the other thing I'm getting with the Aries. Cheers and find yourself some good tea. All right, I'm going to go to the Tauruses. Stubborn bulls. The creative bulls. Y'all might be particularly affected by this Venus squaring Uranus this week, since it's happening. Uranus is in your ruling sign and Venus is your ruling sign. So you may be particularly affected. And again, it could be a positive, sudden, unexpected development for you guys. The awareness card is what I'm drawing for you guys. This is that aha moment. It's a spiritual revelation. It's where you come out of the shadows and all of a sudden things are crystal clear, right? So this energy in Pisces right now is sextiling you, right? So it's extra, it's a positive relationship because you're 2 signs away. So there's a, like you're feeling this movement in a positive way. All the stellium in Pisces is activating your sun or your moon or your rising, depending on what you have in Taurus. More planets, more activation. So these spiritual ahas, these spiritual downloads that are happening in Pisces can feel like it's direct incomings, right? You may get a direct message, not just a psychic, when someone may tell you something to your face that you just had a hit about, or you just had a dream about, or whatever. I feel like you're going to get a confirmation this week on your own intuition in a real vivid, loud way, is what it feels like to me. And it feels like exciting and happy. Like this person is like got a little smile on there. It's like, oh, okay. So whatever this realization, it feels like it's good news and like a wonderful discovery. Someone may discover you this week. Um, but I feel like it's just going to feel liberating. It's like you're casting away the extra weight, the extra heaviness, and like freeing yourself from something. Some of you may be freeing yourself of a relationship or just something heavy on your heart that you're able to share with someone, and then that gets dumped and cleared. It just feels like there's a shedding of skins in some way this week, Tauruses. Um, and new spiritual openings. You can just feel like the light is turned on loud for you guys this week. Really wonderful week. I'm just saying there's something humorous too. There's something that's going to be so loud, so in your face, it may even make you laugh. So, but it feels like joy and positivity is what I'm getting. Whatever these aha realizations, you could like get an aha and then just go and just be laughing about it. You could have a realization around someone else too, but I think this is about you. I think these hits that you're getting some insight into yourself. Um, but it feels very loving, very positive. It's like the laughing Buddha kind of a, the Buddha's not laughing at you, he's laughing because he's just got joy coming off of him. And that's the feeling I'm getting. It just feels like super joyful. Um, so even if you're shedding a relationship, it's going to make you happy. You're going to feel relieved, right? So, or if someone's discovering you, that just feels like, are you kidding me? Really? You want me to whatever? So, really good week for the Tauruses. All right, we'll go on to the Geminis. The maturity card. This is my self care card. This is about nurturing and taking care of yourself, like extra soaks in the tub, extra healthy eating, maybe pulling away from others just to be nurturing for you. You can get out of commitments. You can just say, no, it's not going to work for me this week, or I'm not willing to do that. This is about really tapping in and tuning into yourself and sitting peacefully, sitting quiet. You may want to just get out in nature. You may want to get some flowers for yourself, some essential oils. Like these are all like self care things that are like super important to do this week. And I'm really just getting peaceful, quiet meditation is important. Um, I'm really drawn by the fact that there's flowers all over this person's face. So I feel like there's a personal flowering, a personal blooming. You may be actually playing with makeup or face painting. It could be something literal like that. Um, or someone around you is, or maybe, we're moving into spring. So maybe you're just feeling this shift of the energy and shedding of winter. But I feel like this introspective place, like you maybe want to be writing in your journal and or going to get a journal if you don't have one, to start writing in a journal. Planting seeds, planting flowers, buying yourself flowers. Like there's some emphasis on flowers or flowering, something in your life really flowering. Surrounding yourself with beauty feels really important. Feeling beautiful. You may go buy yourself some new clothes that make you feel beautiful or handsome. Um, And some of you may be artists that are actually drawing something, and you may be drawing flowers, you may be painting flowers, you may be coloring flowers. I don't know. But I do see this creativity that's coming, and it may be something different than what you usually do. Maybe you're a Gemini who utilizes your artistic talents all the time in music or arts or design in some way, and there's something different than how you usually do coming out is kind of what I feel. At any rate, this strong psychic energy going on with the Pisces energy is squaring you. So you may be have like sort of an eruption, almost like I'm getting like almost like someone wants to throw up, like repulsed and have to withdraw, and then have something really shift as a result of sort of pulling away from someone or something. It may just be the whole world like, okay, it's too peoply out there for me today, and I just need to spend some time in solace. It might be time to go on a retreat or plan one. But it feels like, I mean, this person is got this very pleasant look on their face. So it doesn't feel like it's a painful austerity. It feels like something that feels very lovely. And getting in touch with the beautiful essence that you are, of just pure essence, like your soul's energy. This is like diving deep within yourself, even though it may be like the face painting and stuff may feel superficial. But I feel like whatever things that you do, there's a depth to the meaning. Like if you've shifted how you feel about yourself, and you're putting makeup on yourself, you may be feeling differently than, say, if you feel like crap about yourself and you're putting on makeup to cover yourself up, kind of thing. There's something unique, something different about, you're getting it, some new insights is what it feels like, and new guidance, inner guidance about how to care for yourself. Okay, that's what I get for the Geminis. Okay, we'll go to the Cancers. The receptivity card. This is definitely tapping into that Pisces energy, which is trining you guys. So all the stellium in Pisces, the Mercury, Jupiter, the Sun, Neptune is trining, which is a positive relationship with whatever you have in Cancer, Sun, Moon, rising, other planets you have in Cancer. There's a trine going on with this great awakening energy in Pisces. So this is about being open and receptive to this energy. This is about psychic downloads. Like, look at this, like sacred geometry thing going on here. The whole head of this person is a lotus flower, and lotus flower produces its blossoms and its seeds at the same time. So it symbolizes cause and effect. When you put the cause into action, the effect is already present as well. So there's some sort of great deep level realization that you guys are having. There's almost like this DNA coding that's happening in your system. Like it feels like you're having a great awakening. You may actually feel it physically. You may feel like you're vibrating. You may be drawn to going to, I mean, there's a huge water backdrop here. I mean, y'all are Cancers, water signs. So you naturally love to be around water, but you may really be pulled to it, into the shower, into the tub, into the ocean, into the stream or creek or river or lake. Like there's, like, you may want to immerse yourself in bodies of water. It could be plural, maybe more than one, or more than just, it just feels like a lot of diving into the water energy, just to get out of gravity, just to defrag and to clear your energy field, or anything you might do to clear your energy so you can be more open and receptive, whether that's energy work or essential oils or sound vibrations. You might want to look up and listen to some solfeggio frequencies. They have YouTube videos that have these higher vibrational frequencies woven into music or into drumming or into mantras that can, or into natural elements like rivers or oceans or waterfalls will have solfeggio frequencies woven into it. But it feels like you guys are like just vibrating at a higher wattage is what it feels like this week, like really opening up. This is such a beautiful image. So this is you guys Cancers this week. It's like, wow. I want to hear what some of you guys get in dreams or psychic downloads or visitations from loved ones on the other side. It feels like you guys are not going to be able to miss this stuff. You're going to be wide open, really ready to receive these ahas, realizations, informations from your guides or angels. It may be coming across light beings of all kinds. You may be aware of them. Some of you may see them show up visually, is what I'm getting as well. Maybe you've never seen your spirit guide psychically before. You've never seen visions, and you may be having them this week. There may be something new opening up for you psychically. It just feels like, whoa, beautiful. And on the receptivity card, right? So I often talk about this card as being like the job of the wide receiver on a football team is to get open. That's his job. His job is just to go get open, right? He's not in control of throwing the football. He's in control of receiving it if it's thrown. So this is about just go get wide open, get away, get open, right? Put your stuff, walk away from the screens, walk away from the noise, open up in meditation, set an intention as you're going to bed to be open to receive whatever your guides may have for you. But this is a beautiful week for the Cancers. All right, now we'll go to the Leos. All right, this is schizophrenia card. It's kind of gnarly. It does not mean that you may be schizophrenic, although some of you may. But mostly, I see this card as when you feel pulled down the middle, like in a division, like this person is suspended between these two things. Usually, when this card comes up, a decision needs to be made, right? You can't keep yourself straddled between two worlds like this. You have to decide, make a decision. This will often come up when relationships are about to separate or people are about to separate from a job or move, change their home. This card comes up. Um, can move away from an idea, something you've been holding dear, but it's making you crazy to hold on or keep believing to it. You may have a big belief system shift this week. Um, it's important to see that there's blue skies here. There's two little birds here. To me, this represents your guides, or you've got support on the other side with you, and it's just about trusting your intuition. What is your intuition guiding you to do? Right? What feels like the right decision? If you keep battling between this and this and this and this, a lot of the times that's happening because it's too much in the head. What does your heart say? What does your gut say? What will bring you joy? What will bring relief? So it's like it's time to put a struggle down this week, Leos. Is what I feel. It's time to stop making you feel cray cray and seeing things that aren't there. Just stop it. Just take a leap of faith and go after the choice that feels most right. And if you're truly in an indecision place and you can't decide between two things, contact me. Let's do a reading around it. We can always look at, say you've got these two major decisions, right? I don't know whether to move to Cleveland or to move to, any other place, right? Say you're between Cleveland and Chicago, and I don't know, like I've got job offers in both and I can't, I'm just throwing that out there as an example. So we could look, okay, well, let's look. If you check the job in Cleveland, what that would look like. All right. And then we can do another read. Let's look at what it would look like if you accept the job in Chicago and compare and contrast. Let's look at what it would look like if you're to leave your relationship. Let's look what it would look like if you were to stay in your relationship, right? We can look at choices and see how they show up, right? So if you need some help making a decision, I'd be happy to help you. You can contact me, and my contact information is below this video. But mostly, you just need to trust your own intuition and go ahead and make a leap of faith. All right. Virgos. Right. Got the adventure card coming up for the Virgos. This is that little child, the inner child maybe, heading into the rainbow. This is where you follow your intuition because this feels like the right direction, maybe not knowing the whole scene, or I don't know what's coming. I just know this is where the next step is going to be. So this little child is moving into the light, moving into this beautiful rainbow. It's an adventure, and it can be literal, like you may be taking a trip or on some sort of new spiritual journey that's an adventure, or an adventure of a new relationship or a new job, or exploring a new trail at the place where you usually hike. Um, the fact that there's a little child here, to me, there could be an exploration of your inner child. This could be about your own evolution and growth, and how maybe to turn the attention on your inner child, and maybe go into meditation thinking about your own inner child and what your own inner child needs. Is there a part of you that was frozen or numb or abused at a certain age, and that part of you still needs healing? That could be part of what this is going on. Some of you may be going on an adventure to have a child or to go visit a child. um, it's positive, and it's just about trusting that this is the right way to go. Like, he's just stepping into the rainbow regardless. This little child's just going on feeling like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So follow what you're feeling called to do, trusting that even if you don't know how the whole big picture is going to look like, this is the next step. All we ever have is one step at a time. All we ever have is one day at a time. There's a wise philosophy of that, one day at a time. What today do I feel guided to do? That would be the mantra this week for the Virgos. What today do I feel guided to do? Taking that question within, listening for promptings, and then taking action. This is a taking action card. This little child is in movement, in motion. It is moving forward. So it looks like there's movement forward this week for the Virgos towards some sort of new adventure. Feels good. All right, we'll go to the Libras. And there's the breakthrough card. Yay! Celebration. Finally, like something is shifting in a big way. I feel like it begins with some sort of spiritual insights, the light just coming from the middle of this person, from their heart chakra, solar plexus. So this could be a breakthrough in relationships. Like finally you've met someone, finally you had broke through an impasse of a relationship you're in. And Libras are relationship people. So when something happens positive in the realm of relationship, it's extra exciting for Libras. There could be, good news on the job. It could be breaking through some sort of struggle that you've been in for a while. Maybe you have a breakthrough when it comes to a personal addiction that's been haunting you. Um, that you're changing karma. You feel empowered. Like I look at these fists here. This feels like, I did it. Like I did it with the help of the divine is what it feels like to me. Like you can do it. Like it's a big yes. It's a big excitement. It's happiness and joy. And this is like a big, huge change in karma is really what I'm seeing. It's like whatever has been crusty and hanging on and is like you're breaking free of it. Like that's an old story. There's a new story showing up for you. So Libras, y'all are going to have a breakthrough of some powerful kind this week. That's what I'm predicting for the Libras. All right. Scorpios next. This is the innocence card. This is the wise old grandfather. This is the person you go to for insight and guidance, right? And he breaks it down in a real simple way. He's a be here in the moment putting your conscious attention, like being fully present is what this guy is. So this may be you being that for others. You may be having people come to you and you're giving them, maybe you're just listening to them and giving them your full attention. Or maybe someone is doing that for you. Maybe you're seeking some guidance out, like someone, a guru or a wise advisor of some sort, and getting some insight and guidance that you need for your life in a powerful way. Um, I mean, this guy seems to be very amused by this grasshopper, right? It's the little things that bring great joy. So I'm gonna take a swig here before I start coughing. It feels like focusing on what you can appreciate, what you can have gratitude for, what is it just in, can you be in the moment instead of future tripping or replaying something that's gone down? Can you bring all your faculties into this moment in a powerful way? Um, and if it's you giving guidance to someone else, what feels like the right thing to say, just let yourself channel sage wisdom instead of figuring it out too much. Or if you feel like you need to get guidance, what does your intuition say about that? Where, who, like if you need some insight and help, does someone keep popping up in your mind? Might be a close friend that you can call, maybe going to a therapist or actually literally talking to a grandfather. This old guy, this old sage here that knows how to just enjoy the moment. It looks like the grasshopper's talking back too, doesn't it? Little communication there going on. Maybe you need to go out there and have a conversation with a critter and get some new perspective. If I was a grasshopper, how would I look at this situation? Like get yourself out of yourself in order to get some insight or perspective. These purple flowers also here are drawing my attention. So uh, things seem to be flowering. It also may be the color purple seems to be important. Um, maybe just you may have someone in your life that just you cherish um, because of them being present with you, um, and truly conscious and being there with you, like just being with this person brings you joy. So there may be that kind of situation going on. I'm just getting a lot of love, um, and feeling cherished coming from someone somewhere from the universe, but it feels like it may be coming from someone in particular that really cherishes you, or maybe you're really cherishing someone else and they're really appreciating that. um, I'm feeling that you're being cherished. So innocence is the card for the Scorpios this week. Sages. Totality card. This is throwing yourself in fully, right? Trusting that the universe is going to catch you, right? Here's this trapeze act going on. The light here is the brightest. And these two hands aren't quite connected, but this person is trusting that this person's going to catch them. This person also is like, they're leaning backwards. They're not even looking at this person, but they're going to be there for them, right? That connection is going to happen. Totally, totality. So this is like someone showing up in your life that's really there for you. It feels like it's showing up in the literal form, but also it's like the spirit realm are really feeling that your guides are there for you, that the universe is there for you, that you can totally immerse yourself in something. It feels really right. It's really following your gut. I'm also drawn to the fact that this person in the middle here has got the green arms and legs here, red leotard. The green is just really striking to me about healing, moving your body, like reaching out for foods or things that are going to bring great health for you as well. There's just like a free spirit and having fun too and enjoying taking a leap of faith. Like realizing that this is bringing me joy instead of being stuck and feeling safe. It's like, no, I'm going to get out of my box. I'm going to get out of my comfort zone. I'm going to try something new. And wow, the universe is going to catch me. And this isn't coming from the head. This is like, I'm feeling like this is what I want to do. I want to go for this. Um, and it feels very powerful, passionate. Like I'm just getting this orange light energy too, is like feels very passionate, like going for it when it comes to relationship. Um, yeah. Aren't you glad you went for it? Yeah, this is a big leap of faith coming this week for the Sagittarius, and it feels like you're gonna enjoy um some big sort of risky shift. Um, yeah, it feels exciting and it's like adrenaline rush feels like it may happen. Um, but certainly does feel powerful. And this could even come like in a meditation or in a dream. There could be just something of the same energy that you get spiritually too. May not be literally taking a jump off a cliff. It could be just diving into your meditation practice in a way that's, you know, exuberant and just some nuances that just feels like the wattage, the light gets turned up brighter. Have you ever had that? Like the light bulb starts going out, you replace the light bulb with a brighter light bulb. It's like, oh wow, why was I what was I going along with this dim light? Now I can really see. There feels like there's a light that gets turned on for y'all, and that may be literal, maybe feels more symbolic, but get the drift. Like this, like wow, oh okay, I can see brighter, more clearly now this week. So that's what I'm getting for the Sagittarius. All right, now we'll go to the Capricorn. Guidance card is coming up for y'all. This is about following your inner guidance. We all have inner guidance. It's the voice of the intuition. This week, with all this Pisces energy, super strong, it is extra easier, so much more easy to get in touch with this. And so, y'all, as Capricorn, this Pisces energy that I talked about earlier is sextiling y'all. This is a positive relationship. So, you're feeling these psychic awarenesses even stronger with it's your sun, moon, or your rising, or any other planets that you might have in Capricorn. All the stellium in Pisces is sextiling you. So you're getting these psychic, spiritual downloads stronger than a lot of people are. So you can trust your intuition this week, right? You can trust the hits that you get. You could even quite find it literally where the somebody says out loud to you something you were just thinking, or you hear something three times and you're like, okay, I know the universe is talking to me because you're hearing it so clear and strong. um, you may have a super vivid dream that you remember instead of forget. um, I'm really drawn for the fact that this guidance energy is like an angel with wings, right? So I really feel this presence of feeling like you've got an angelic realm taking care of you, that you really are getting very clear inner guidance and you can trust it, and it feels nurturing and supportive and moving you in the right direction. Y'all can have a hard crust on you sometimes. You're Capricorns, right? Goats. But this feels soft and lovely and angelic. And so you may be feeling that internally too. It's like, wow, okay, there's a very getting in touch with your spiritual nature, not just feeling like you have to bulldoze through your life, but like, oh, you mean there can be a flow? What a concept. And it feels like this could be a really lovely week. I'm also drawn to this woman energy here who's looking backwards, right? So it feels like some of you may be sort of looking back, maybe on this behavior that you've done in the past that you were regretting, or you have remorse, or maybe you've lost someone, someone's left your life relationship wise, or maybe they've crossed over, they've died. But there's some sort of looking back to the past, right? The full energy is being present in this moment, right? Looking at the past pulls you out of alignment. So if it's something you've done wrong that you regret, forgive yourself. You can't change it now. It's whatever it's done has been done. You can make amends, right? You can make what's called a living amends, is like how you live your life today will be different than when you made that mistake in the past. Um, but it feels like, again, use that prayer, turning poison to medicine, like this negative thing that I did in my life, may that end up benefiting me somehow. How can this negative cause I set end up being a benefit? Like, let me just affirm that that will be transformed into a benefit, right? If it's a loved one who's crossed, or a relationship you've lost, just sending that soul blessings. I trust that your soul knows what it's doing. I wish you love. I wish you peace, wisdom, happiness, whatever. And again, just so you can let go and let them move on, cross over. Um, it's not being bound or haunted by the past, right? And if that keeps coming up, you may need to get to help with that. You may need to go into some therapy, or a therapeutic relation with someone that you can trust, where you can talk about what's haunting you. I can't stop thinking about fill in the blank, right? You may need to journal to get it out. Like, if you keep being pulled into the past, you can't be living fully in the present, which is the point of power, right? So if that's speaks to you, you may need some help letting go of it. If you can't just redirect your mind, you might need to work with someone else in clearing that, or ask for prayer for people who are like, hey, I'm really troubled by fill in the blank. Can you pray for me? Sometimes all you need to do is ask, right? Or ask for insight from your own guidance system, your own higher self, your own guides. Show me the way. Make it really loud and clear. Point out the direction I need to go. Point out what I need to do about this past that's haunting me, so that I can feel free. For the most part, it feels like it's a beautiful, flowing week. If you just listen to guidance and follow that on a daily basis, it feels like there's a lovely flow that can happen for you guys this week. One step at a time, one day at a time. Sometimes it's 1 minute at a time. All right, Aquarius. Y'all may be extra activated with the Venus and Mars combo in your sign. Saturn's there as well. So is Vesta and Juno, asteroids. So there's a lot of focus on your sign, a lot of planets in your sign right now. And the inner voice card is coming up. This is one of my psychic cards in the deck. It denotes you have strong intuition. Every Aquarius person I know, whether it's your sun, your moon, or your rising, is a psychic in some form or fashion. So this is saying your inner voice knows the answer. Just be clear to receive the downloads. There's also these two dolphins that are in the picture. So this card can often represent like relationship harmony, or picking up psychic intuition from someone else, right? Could be someone that's crossed over. It could be someone that's on the other side of the planet, someone you don't even see anymore, but you may pick up on them intuitively. Um, but there's also this just straight download from your own higher self. The crystal is down here. It's like knowing, getting crystal clear insight, crystal clear advice, from within, from your guidance system. And you guys can have this amazing spiritual awakening uh, this week, like new insight, new growth, new development, new downloads. The full moon feels like it's going to be particularly powerful for you guys this week as well. So I'd be really interested to see what kind of insights you have right around the full moon too. Like you could just like, whoa, that dream was so real. And then find yourself actually experiencing what you dreamed, that kind of thing. Like your intuition is on this week, is what I say. You can trust it. And there may be people who are coming to you for your insight and guidance this week because it's so strong. And it usually is. Like you may find yourself channeling, like out of your mouth comes what the other person needs to hear. And you may not even know that. You may just be doing it unconsciously. Most of you know it when you're doing it. I'm just also looking at this face that's just smiling. It's like it just feels good to receive clear info from another realm, not the 3D realm out here, but unless it's a confirmation in the 3D realm of what you're already getting psychically, which could very well happen this week. All right, that's what I'm getting for the Aquariuses. And now we will move to the Pisces. With the sun, Neptune, and Jupiter and Mercury in your sign, you may feel personally activated right now. This could be a big awakening week for you, for sure, Pisces, especially if you've had more than one planet in Pisces yourself. You'll be having your solar return where the sun comes back to where it was where you were born. Okay, we've got the Miser card. This card represents fear, and it represents very often fear around money. Maybe you're having to deal with doing your taxes and you don't want to, you're getting some resistance coming up about that. Maybe you're trying to make a decision that involves investing or splitting up money with someone else. Like or fear of not getting enough. Maybe you feel like you're not making enough, or you want to really follow your heart and do something differently, but you're worried about the financial cost at it. Maybe you want to break up with a relationship and you don't know how you can afford to live on your own financially. All these things could be coming up for you. This light, however, is saying, don't focus on the stuff. the stuff. Focus on the light, the healing, the joy in your life. I mean, look at what the fear has done to this person. They are not this used to be a beautiful woman. Like this person is not a happy person anymore. And it feels like they've hoarded, like this person's got an armful of treasures. They are not happy. This money, these treasures are not making this person happy at all. And like this code has become a wall. It's like a wall of fear. I love to use the acronym of fear being false evidence appearing real. So it feels like y'all are caught up in something that's not even real. And focusing on the wrong things, right? So you guys are intuitive. And again, this stellium in your chart could really be stirring things up at a deep level. It could be fears that aren't even yours. It could be you're dealing with someone else's fears. This could also be the case. Or you're flashing back to a childhood and your parents' fears around money or finances. And it's just overlaid, and it's how your primal knee-jerk responses to money and financial situations. It's an opportunity, is what I'm hearing, to shift something that you fear. And it could be nothing around money. This card, the Miser, usually does represent fear around money. It could just be fear. You're afraid to write that book. You're afraid to start a new exercise program. You're afraid, whatever, fill in the blank, right? You're frozen or stuck in some way because there's not a flow and not a chi going, right? So with all this strong psychic energy in your sign, it should be really clear what the answers are, right? It may be that you don't trust yourself. But I'm hearing the words paradigm shift. You could really completely shift your realities this week. Like feel like you're going from one planet to a new planet internally and in your life. There could be major changes. And a lot of times the stuff gets heightened within right before something really shifts or something really powerful. It's like the dark before the dawn, right? That dark night of the soul before you have a major breakthrough. So you may be just going through that period right before a major breakthrough. You're counting your pennies right before you win the lottery or whatever, right? That could be symbolic, but I feel like you're on the verge of a breakthrough. And if you can just go ahead and put yourself there in your mind and your heart and let spirit in to help and guide you, you can have a really joyful wake and feel like you really shift some primal fears, cleared out some deep grunge. And maybe this has been haunting you for lifetimes, but I feel like it may come to a head this week, but you can really shift this energy and transform this for all times, is what I'm getting for the Pisces for this week. And that's everybody. If you've watched this whole video, thank you very much for your long attention. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Share this with friends and loved ones. Let's every week the viewership is going up, the subscriptions are going up. So I appreciate all of those of you who have joined in my little parade, who have sent donations, all of that. Many blessings. Peace.